Can y'all stop being strict? I had friends where like their parents literally didn't let them do anything but go to church, go to school, come home. They in movies, they in parties, you don't sleep over, they selling drugs, they selling pussy. And I'm like, what the fuck? Hey! Meanwhile, my parents telling me about the kids. I don't even have to say anything. My parents be like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you heard such and such kid doing blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And they're like, yo, how is that possible? I'm like, you tell me? Like, it shit don't make no sense. Y'all be sitting here thinking y'all doing something by like literally raising strict kids, but like a lot of y'all not doing shit, okay? The Mademoiselle inside ce deuxième Chanel and aujourd'hui we're going to be talking about the top 5 things Haitian parents need to stop doing to their kids, okay? 5 things, which is going to be most likely 1,000 things because I'm going to do this in many different parts, all right? Anything that is said in Creole will be repeated in English before or after. Definitely use context clues. That's how you learn languages. Now, for all of you guys who are of age, this would be really great for some babon food, but I don't have any right now. But tu pa gelaj gal yo cremas with. Cremas pa pou ti moun, no. Cremas has alcohol in it. You see, that's one thing. Stop giving your kids alcohol. That's not good, even though I was definitely drinking at like 3. I was definitely sipping my damn cremas. That's not good, though. 3, 12 lit. I'm not joking. I literally was lit at a very young age. And that's not a good, it's not a good thing. But if you're not of age, get your eggnog, get your milk, get your Kool-Aid. We're gonna be talking some real shit. Okay? Listen, this shit right here is the truth. This is my new favorite wine, okay? Cherry wine. Get into it. First thing we're gonna talk about, and you already know if you've been on my main channel, if you're not subscribed to the main channel, go subscribe to the main channel, is beat your kids. Bat Timon. Bagay Batimun la, I just can't. The whole beating your kids situation is just ridiculous to me, right? Beating your kids is just such an outdated practice. Beating kids literally does nothing but make them angry, make them sneaky, and make them joke, laugh, and not take you serious. I've literally sat there and seen a lot of my family, a lot of my friends get beat the fuck up and like literally do nothing but return that type of anger back into the real world and most importantly back onto their parents. I know damn well y'all heard of the iconic phrase of, oh, but when that's because a lot of kids really do fuck around and sit there and beat the fuck out of their parents after they done beat the fuck out of them. I've seen a lot of people really sit there and try to fight their parents. And let's be real here, where do you think they get that from? Y'all really want to sit there and beat the shit out of your kids, but then what's going to happen when your kids try to beat the shit out of you? What's going to happen when your kid ends up bigger than you? Y'all want to think that y'all can sit here and treat your kids like crap, and one day they're not going to treat you like crap right back. It doesn't teach your kid anything. And for the most part, when you're sitting there beating the shit out of your kids, as punishment, it teaches them to resolve their own problems with conflict in the real world. You need to learn to respect your kids as kids and respect your kids enough to talk to them and teach them how to resolve their own problems like adults that they're going to be in the real world. They may not be adults now, but you can't just beat the shit out of them for every single issue. If you're gonna beat your kids, at least beat them for something that makes sense. Get them one, they just beat the kid for everything. They piss you off, you beat the shit out of them. They get a bad grade, you beat the shit out of them. I mean, like, come on now. Did anyone ever think to get their kid a tutor? It doesn't make sense. L'école. Pour ça, ou pas mener ti moun non tutoring. How do you say tutoring in Creole? You get the point. There's certain things that you just don't need to do, and beating your kid for every little thing is one of them, Haitian parents. Y'all need to learn how to respect y'all kids. Y'all love to say respect their grown. Y'all need to respect their timon. Respect their timon. I like it. That should be on some merch coming soon. Of course, that brings me to my next point. Disrespecting the hell out of children. But Haitian parents need to stop this shit. I feel like it's a black universal thing, Black parents, y'all love to disrespect the hell out of your kids. Y'all love to act like kids are your property. Y'all like to act like y'all own kids. And this needs to stop. This is why a lot of y'all in nursing homes. This is why a lot of y'all kids send y'all to Haiti and you never hear from them again. This is why a lot of y'all don't know y'all grandkids. This is why a lot of y'all are suffering, because you do not respect your kids. You guys are so damn mean, so damn rude, so damn condescending, and you wonder why your kids don't love you. Your kids don't hate you because they were born in America. That seems to be the excuse y'all always give. Kids here are ungrateful. Kids here are horrible. Kids born in America don't respect adults. Kids born in America have no manners, do not appreciate anything anymore. No, a lot of you guys are ridiculously toxic, and a lot of us ain't standing for your bullshit no more. And for the most part, while raising a lot of us, you didn't respect us as human beings. This is why we treat you like that, and this is why we don't care to associate with you no more, okay? There's so many Haitian grown in my life that I legitimately don't even blink at anymore. Like, I see them and I keep it pushing. I act like they don't even fucking exist. Like, luckily my parents did not treat me like that bad to that extent, but there's a good couple of grown aunts, uncles, or whatever that it's like, honestly, I don't give a fuck what happens to you because you treated me like fucking garbage. I don't give a fuck what anyone got to say about it. Garbage is garbage, and garbage will be met with garbage. I threw you in the dumpster. Goodbye. Forcing your kids to go to college. I loved college. I'm a strong advocate for higher education. I have a bachelor's and a master's degree. My bachelor's is in communications and my master's degree is in public relations. However, I do not believe people should go to college if they do not want to. I do not believe in parents forcing their kids to go to college, and I do not believe that everyone should go to college just because. There are so many options out there besides college, but for whatever reason, Haitian people refuse to look at any other option for their American-born children besides college. If you are a Haitian child that was born in America or came to America early enough, your only option in life is college. I'm telling you this right now. It's ridiculous as all hell. Always wanted to go to college. No one forced me, and for the most part, my parents became lucky, okay? They're lucky that I wanted to go to college, and I tell my parents this all the time, like, you guys lucked out, because if I didn't want to go to college, I would not have gone. I love education, I love school, and even though I got 2 degrees and I'm chilling, and I'm self-employed and all of that goofy shit, YouTube fell into my lap. If I really wanted to, I could shut all of this shit down, disappear, and get a 9 to 5. But for the most part, I love school. Sometimes I even think about going back because I just like that environment. I like learning. I like that type of atmosphere. For the most part, a lot of people can't get with sitting behind a desk, can't get with doing the work, reading the articles, and that's fine. Everyone has different learning styles. Some people just can't get behind that type of schooling. And Haitian parents just don't understand that. A lot of Haitian parents do not feel validated if their kids are not getting a conventional and a traditional education. This is mainly because of how Haiti is set up and how getting an education is really will put you ahead and put you in a prestigious class. And that's for a whole nother story. Like the education system in Haiti and all of that is just honestly a whole nother video for a whole nother time and a whole nother headache that I really don't want to go down right now. So I understand why a lot of Haitians want their kids to get an education, but there's a reason why a lot of your kids are not getting an education. A lot of your kids don't want to go to school, and you can't force them to go to school, because what you're doing is wasting your money and wasting their time and making your kids miserable. Your kid does not want to go to school, and most likely a lot of y'all not even letting your kids go to school for shit that they want to do. Y'all forcing y'all kids to go to school for fucking doctor, lawyer, engineering. That's not what they want to do. Even though we need more of those things, if that is not your kids' natural instincts, natural talents, natural interests, that's not what they're going to succeed at doing. That's not what they want to go to school for. They're going to fail. Now you're going to waste your damn money. A lot of y'all don't even want y'all kids to go to school for the right reasons. Y'all just want y'all kids to go to school so y'all can flex. Pouka says yes. Pouka di oh ti munu en l'école, ti munu am no collège, gade ti munu e gat ti munu. Ou beze ti munu à l'école, pouka di ti munu a fait gros bagay, pouka fait gros pompon. Y'all don't want y'all kids to go to school to better themselves, to get an education, to do good for themselves. A lot of y'all really want y'all kids to go to school so y'all can brag. Let's be real here. Y'all need to stop using y'all kids as pawns. That's another thing, wasn't on the list, but that's another thing. Y'all need to stop putting your kids' life and reputation and mental health at risk just to make yourself look good, just to use them as a bargaining chip, just to use them as a brag right. That is not okay. Just so you can go to l'église and be like, that's ridiculous. Why don't you do something? Okay, just because your life is miserable, just because your life is worthless, just because you didn't do anything and you choose to be a statistic, doesn't mean you go throw your kid in the fucking fire and you make your kid miserable. Because a lot of these kids, for the most part, a lot of foreign black kids specifically, go through a lot of turmoil and a lot of mental stress trying to impress their Haitian parents, trying to impress their foreign parents. And it's very, very taxing because they're terrified of doing something wrong. They're terrified of failing. They're terrified of disappointing. And this is so horrible. Like, I've never in my life seen any other kid go through worse torment than the kid of an immigrant. The children of foreign immigrants go through it the worst when it comes to trying to please a foreign parent. Okay, trying to please a foreign parent is horrible. I guarantee you no one goes through it worse, especially when it comes to Haitian and African, shit, and Asian. Okay, they be going through it. The pressure of having to succeed, of having to be that perfect child, the pressure of having to one up all of your peers, all of your family members, having to be that model child is ridiculously taxing, not only on your mental health, on your physical health, just horrible. And honestly, I give it to y'all because me, I was never the one. My parents just lucked out. I'm telling you this right now, they lucked out because I always sat there and was like, I ain't doing shit that I don't want to do. Y'all gonna have to just take what y'all get because women, you got the wrong number. You dialed the wrong number. To be honest, it's very difficult to please these people because like they're never satisfied. You could get an A, they gonna be like, why aren't you getting an A+? You can literally graduate from law school and they're gonna be like, why don't you own a law firm? You could become a doctor and they're like, why don't you own the hospital? Like, for the most part, a lot of these people are very, very hard to please. Like, clearly not all of them are like that, but living up to these standards are horrible. And I'm telling you this right now, if you are one of these kids living in this type of environment, understand that you do not have to please these fucking people and you need to just start saying no. They're gonna be mad and they're going to talk. But you need to get out of the habit of saying yes, because once you start saying yes, it's gonna be very hard to say no. And once you get into the habit of saying no, it's gonna be easier to say no. And yes, they're gonna talk because clearly they're gonna be mad that you say no. What do you expect? You think they're gonna be happy that you said no? Let's be real, common sense, right? At the end of the day, it's your life. And the more you say yes, they're gonna be accustomed to you saying yes. You need to start standing up for yourself and putting your foot down. If you don't put your foot down, they're going to walk all over you and expect you to do everything they say. They're going to expect you to walk the way they want you to walk, talk the way they want you to talk, and be the way they want you to be. You need to start standing up for yourself. It doesn't matter what they say or anything like that. I know a lot of people don't want to hear people talk. They want to hear people. It doesn't matter. Ignore that shit. Matter. You need to just be able to be strong enough for you. Fuck them. Be strong enough for you. So with that being said, that brings me to my next point. Can y'all stop being strict? I'm very disappointed that for the most part, Haitian parents have such a reputation of being strict parents. Luckily, my parents weren't strict. And for the most part, a lot of my close friends didn't have strict parents either. But a lot of people that I know, family members and a lot of other friends that I had did have strict parents. And a lot of them ended up being the worst kids I know. Strict parents breed horrible kids. Sneaky kids, thought kids, drug dealer kids, criminal kids, prostituting kids, all types of kids, you name it. I don't understand what y'all think y'all gonna accomplish by raising kids in strict households. Like, le nou mette ti moun nan kay, le yo baka fè anyen. Yo baka soti. Yo baka ge zanmi. Yo baka pale sou téléphone. Yo baka lave bouday. Yo baka fè manger. Yo baka soti dehors. You gotta give it. I understand monitoring your kids. I understand not letting them run bullshit. But when it gets to the point where they can't even breathe, it doesn't make sense. Like, what the fuck can they do? Can they blink? Like, I literally know kids that sneak through their windows, bruh. That is really ridiculously absurd. I had friends that was out here living in strict households, living more of a life than me, and my parents were not strict. My parents did not like withhold me from doing anything. There were times when they didn't let me do things, because I did live in the hood, and there were times where it was like, you know, the block was really hot, like there was wild shooting certain times, right? So like, all right, you know what, this summer you can't go outside at this time or whatever. But for the most part, my parents weren't strict. So I knew what to do and what not to do. But I had friends where like their parents literally didn't let them do anything but go to church, go to school, come home. They in movies, they in parties, you don't sleep over, they selling drugs, they selling pussy. And I'm like, what the fuck? Hey! Meanwhile, my parents telling me about the kids. I don't even have to say anything. My parents be like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you heard such and such kid doing blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And they're like, yo, how is that possible? I'm like, you tell me? Like, it shit don't make no sense. Y'all be sitting here thinking y'all doing something by like literally raising strict kids, but like a lot of y'all not doing shit, okay? You're not doing anything but creating avenues for your kids to try to understand and create avenues to escape your strict ass grasp. Strict parents create sneaky kids. If you never heard that, you heard it today. Ease up a little bit. If you are one of those parents that's out here being strict as fuck, thinking that's gonna protect your kids, if anything, it's just gonna make your kids hate you. It's gonna make them resent you. And most importantly, it's going to make them go out and rebel. What you need to do is create a happy balance. You don't have to sit there and let your kid run amok, because that's even worse. But you have to create a balance to where you let your kid have their life while still being a parent. I still did my shit, clearly, right? But I was not out here running amok, embarrassing the fuck out of my parents, like at all. Like at all. I still respected my parents, even though I was still doing my stuff. But at the same time, my parents wasn't out here suffocating the fuck out of me. Meanwhile, a lot of y'all strict parents out here, grandfathers at 30. I wonder why. My last and most important one, babying your kids. Honestly, I have to say that my parents tried this with me, but I guess that kids definitely do have their own personalities. Babying your kids is horrible, and I see a lot of Haitian women do this with their fucking sons, bro. Stop babying your kids. And by babying your kids, I'm talking about for especially Haitian women with their sons. Stop sitting there wiping their ass. Stop sitting there washing their clothes, cooking for them, cleaning for them, and all of that goofy shit. It gets to a point where you need to start teaching them to do everything for themselves and stop doing it for them. It's to the point where I'm literally, 26? If I go to my parents' house, I can literally not do a thing. Like, if I sleep over there for like a week, I will not do a thing. When I was living over there, they literally would do everything for me and I would not have to do a thing. I would do stuff because like literally I should, because I'm an adult and I wanted to, because that's how I am, and I literally felt like I live here, I should do something. But if I didn't want to, I didn't have to, and I knew that, and I know for a fact I could have took advantage of that. But even now, say if I say I'm coming, I know for a fact there's gonna be food waiting for me at the table. If I say I want this washed, I want this done, I know for a fact my parents will have it done. That's how my parents are. My parents will baby the hell out of me, but that's probably because technically I'm their only kid. My dad does have another daughter, but they don't have the best relationship. So essentially, like, I'm like, you know, their creme de la creme, apple of their eye or whatever. They want to baby me, but like, I don't allow it. Like, at one point, my parents didn't even want me to work. I had to beg them to work. But for a lot of y'all Haitian kids out there, I gotta talk to y'all. Y'all let y'all parents baby you. So for the Haitian parents watching this, pakite timonyo fe grimas, okay? Do not let them do that bullshit and let them use you. No, no. Do not let your kids use you and sit there abusing the kindness that you have for them, the love that you have for them. I know you love your kids. I know that you want to do everything in your power to show that you love them. They know that you love them, but at the same time, you have to push them out of the nest, especially for you Haitian women out there. I get it, but you cannot handicap your kids. Yes, I said handicap. Eventually, it gets to the point where they won't be able to do it for themselves, or they're gonna get to a point where they're not gonna want to do it for themselves, and they're not going to do it for themselves. So when they get in relationships, when they get into friendships, when they get to live on their own, they're not gonna do it. When they get into situations, say if they have a roommate, they're not gonna want to clean after themselves. They're not going to cook for themselves. They're not gonna want to do anything. So now they're a bad roommate. When they get in a relationship, they're not gonna want to cook for their husband. They're not gonna want to clean after themselves. So now the wife is like, what the fuck, this nigga don't clean, he don't do nothing. Or the husband's like, what the fuck, this bitch don't cook, she don't do nothing. Like, it's one of those things where you're creating an environment for the kid, you're creating a situation for your kid where they're looking like an adult that can't do shit for themselves. Do not put your kid at a disadvantage. You need to stop babying your kids. I understand for a lot of us and a lot of you, you may not have had much. A lot of y'all had to struggle. A lot of you guys had to come from the gutter. A lot of you guys are in a place where you can give your kid everything. Do not give your kid everything. Teach them some sense of responsibility. And part of that responsibility has to be giving them something to do for themselves. And with that being said, those were some of the things that a lot of you Haitian parents need to stop doing to your American kids. Make sure you guys comment down below. What do you agree with? What did I miss? Definitely going to do a part 2 depending on how well or bad this one goes, because if it does bad, I'm not going to waste my time and do another one. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, do all that. Follow me on Instagram and everything else. Make sure you guys visit the description box. Follow my main channel, and I'm going to see y'all next time. Bye.